The wilds of Costa Rica, home to some of the world's most isolated and dangerous creatures.
Please, somebody get hold of the tail.
The quest team joins a fearless scientist to track down monsters of the shallows and uncovers a mystery. By night, they'll hide in the jungle, waiting for one of the strangest creatures, the elusive three-toed tapir. They'll search for a lost mother who gives up her little secret. Offshore, the quest will help a man on a mission to protect the dolphins.
Excellent! Ah, do you see the dolphins? Yes. Yes!
She's one of the world's best-known scientific research ships. The Quest, her vast resources, from submarine to helicopter, offers scientists dream opportunities to further their work. The crew's new destination is the remote Osa Peninsula in Costa Rica. Their task, to locate and study a little-known population of crocodiles. The surf is too rough for a beach landing. Expedition leader Andrew White and the Quest crew have to find a way to get their equipment to dry land. The strong wind sabotages their plan, forcing helicopter pilot James Daly to improvise.
What's happening now? They're starting to spin. Yeah. What happens is they get air underneath them, just they fly, and they might even pick up into the tail rotor.
Andrew is one of the world's most experienced underwater explorers. For him, a day filled with challenges is a good day. Underwater camera specialist Torva Pedersen has dived the world's oceans, but not the crocodile-infested rivers of Costa Rica. Not yet. Costa Rica lies at the foot of Central America. The eastern tropical Pacific washes up on the coast of Corcovado National Park, which covers the western half of the Osa Peninsula. This area is so remote that crocodiles in its rivers have never been studied before. Without the equipment and the expertise of the Quest team, just getting here would be nearly impossible. The first task is to scout the river, in preparation for a visit by a crocodile specialist who will try to discover whether the reptile population is stable, growing, or declining.
I guess the first impression when you come to Corcovado is the fact that you've got this incredibly lush rainforest with these huge trees. And the thing that strikes you most is how damn hot it is. You just can't get away from the incessant biting of mosquitoes.
Corcovado National Park remains almost untainted by human activity, and the jungle is teeming with wildlife. There are more than 560 species of exotic birds and other animals. For dive master Lynn Micheletti, this expedition is a welcome break from the Quest's usual routine.
Ronnie? Yeah, why don't you come and have a look at this?
It's not long before the team finds a poacher's camp. Illegal hunters trek into this wild area to kill crocodiles for their meat and skin.
They've obviously been here for a little while because they've had a tarp up over here. They've got batteries. Yeah, they've got sharp machetes. Look at the cut on that.
Poachers often leave wounded crocodiles. These animals will attack without warning.
They spot them at night. Yeah. They get up real close, they put the barrel right on their scon.
The team has brought special underwater equipment to help them search for the crocs.
You don't know what to expect or how you will react if you find yourself face to face with a huge crocodile.
Torva might not have to wait long to find out.
Torva, I think there's a big croc slide. See his tail.
Andrew has discovered the tracks of a giant croc, and they're fresh.
This is a pretty big croc. Yay, 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 yay.
I've never seen this before, Andrew.
Yeah, well, this is, they usually sit out in the bank sun themselves, and they've probably heard, or whatever it is, heard us coming, it's gone.
Yep.
So it's going to be in over there somewhere.
Yep.
Who wants to be first? I think it's a birthday boy.
Underwater cameraman Ron Allam has been diving with dangerous creatures for 30 years. Now, as he searches for the river killer, his life will depend on his expertise. The only way to find a crocodile is to look under logs and banks for its lair. It's enough to make anyone's heart pound, knowing there's a big one lurking nearby.
Whoa, we got a big croc there. It's huge.
With the croc located, the team springs into action.
But it's huge.
Should we get the lipstick camera in?
Yeah, grab the lipstick camera.
Jonathan, the lipstick camera?
Ron has rigged a camera for just such a job. It's on a long pole. He can film the animal at extreme close range, observing its behavior in its natural habitat.
If he makes a bolt, got to give it an escape route.
Crew member Jonathan Summerhays will guide Ron by watching his monitor.
Look, it's clouding up, guys. You're clouding it right up. I can't see it. But you're kicking up a lot of soot, and I'm losing the picture, so I'm not sure if he's moving. Just be careful out there. Just on the other side of that stick, you can see that little stick in foreground of shot. He's just lying dormant. He's on the bottom. Okay, that's him. Okay, I've got his eye. He's keeping an eye on you two.
About a 12-footer, I reckon, Guy.
I can see the whole length of the croc. It's huge. We really shouldn't be here.
I can almost count his teeth.
I can start to see his snout. I can see those two long, sharp teeth
Right at the front.
of his snout.
Yeah.
The crocodile is a fully mature male, at least 30 years old.
It's a oldie. It's a oldie.
Just be careful.
There's a strange mark on the animal's snout, possibly a wound from a poacher's bullet, which glanced off the jawbone. An injured croc is dangerous and unpredictable.
Just be careful. He's on the move. He's moving upstream. Okay, he's turned right round. I've lost him. Okay, guys, just be careful because it's clouded right up and I can't see him anymore.
I've only come towards you guys.
All right, guys, just keep calm because I can't see him either. Ronnie?
Turned around and his face
Yeah?
is on it.
Ronnie, just have a little scout round in front of you, mate. Preferably not where everyone's standing because I can't see a thing there. Okay, Ronnie, that's it, mate. I've got his tail.
The croc has chosen to surface for air, which is a lucky break. Crocodiles of this size can stay underwater for an hour and a half, and it may have been preparing to attack. The team also decides to take a breather and plan their next move.
Did you all see the mark on the head of the crocodile?
Well, it'd be nice to get it out from underneath those branches there, because then we could actually get a better shot, see whether it has an injury. But it may not want to, so we've got to be pretty careful. I mean, this is it's at a size where it's very dangerous, and it's easy to get really complacent because the animal hasn't done anything dramatic yet.
Yeah.
But believe me, when they move, they can go
Move fast.
absolutely lightning fast.
crocodile blows bubbles, it's agitated.
There was that moment of fear when I grabbed his tail. I didn't know what he was going to do. He could have turned on me at any moment. But I just wanted to make sure he wasn't injured and move him away from the bank.
With the crocodile moving well and appearing to be non-aggressive, Andrew experiences a moment reserved only for those who would dare to take it.
Wow!
I just had a ride on a 12-foot crocodile. I just had his tail.
It's on your birthday too!
A birthday croc. I mean, I wouldn't have credited that a croc that size would have led us that close.
Yeah, and we've been swimming with it now for a couple of hours. And we're still all here and haven't been bitten and had a great time. We've got some great footage.
That's probably a good cue to leave it alone and get out of the water.
I think so. I think so.
It's been a good day. How big is this croc really?
And Ron says,
And Jonathan's going, it's a big one! It's a big one! Got it outside! It's looking right at you, Ronnie! And I'm going, oh no!
then Ronnie says, oh, maybe we shouldn't be here.
The quest team is not told its last croc story.
Another birthday.
In a few days, they'll return to this river, taking with them a crocodile scientist from northern Costa Rica. They can only guess what monsters await them.
Roger, Quest, this is Serena Station.
Serena Station, Quest.
While they wait for their crocodile man to arrive, there's plenty for the quest crew to do. The ship's resources are needed on 2 other missions in the area. Torva and the dive team are steaming 10 miles up the coast to assist a scientist on his dolphin project. Andrew takes the chopper 12 miles into the jungle to help a research team find a lost subject. It's a meeting of like-minded men. Andrew, a conservationist, Charles Forster, a biologist with the National University of Costa Rica. He studies tapirs, and he's got a problem. One of them is pregnant and missing somewhere in the jungle.
Do you ever have a problem finding the animals in the jungle?
Yeah, in fact, right now we've got one female big mama that we haven't seen for about a month, and by our calculation, she should be having a baby right about at this time, so we'd really like to find her. We've done all the walking we can, but haven't been able to locate her.
Better than a commercial washer.
Charles and his wife Sonia, who is a vet, are from upstate New York. Every year, they live for 3 months in the Corcovado National Park. They're in the 5th year of their long-term study of tapirs.
Sonia's a little different than most veterinarians. He's very much a conservationist and very much into the ecology. The project wouldn't have worked as well if she would have just been a veterinarian. You've got to really have a desire to see the veterinary aspect, but how that affects the ecological part of it. I didn't marry her just because of that, but it helped.
Saludos al cocinero.
Charles and Sonia are keen to show Andrew their unique animals. Using a simple receiver, Charles can track signals from radio collars.
Charles, how do you know which one's which?
Each collar that the animal has a separate frequency. With the receiver, I can tune into different frequencies.
The thing is, we really
trust each other. He trusts my opinion on the veterinary aspect of things, and he takes a lead with the ecological things, and he has tremendous physical strength and motivation that really I look to and I draw from. And his sense of the end goal of conserving these animals is the driving force.
Tapirs have been called the creatures time forgot. They're three-toed ungulates. Their closest relatives are the horse and the rhino.
Oh, yeah.
Courtship behavior. Now we've got 18 animals radio collared that we're following. We're working in an area of about 15 square kilometers, which is fairly small considering the size of the animal, but it's a very dense population here. So right now we're going beyond the basic movement patterns of the animals, like home range size and habitat use, and starting to follow the females as far as when they have young to track their reproductive rate.
I think that tapirs are so strange that they are wonderful. They are part anteater, part elephant, part horse. They're very much like a horse. They have facial expressions like a horse. And so we tend to relate very much to them because of that, because they're familiar to us. They can be aggressive, but they can be primarily docile. And to me, they're like the forest gentle giant.
With Andrew in the jungle, 20 miles away, Torva and the dive team meet Sean Larkin from the Talamanca Dolphin Foundation.
Hi, Sean.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Sean needs video proof of the many dolphin and whale species in the area to help convince the Costa Rican government to create a marine sanctuary.
Why don't you come up here to the house? We're up on this point right here.
Okay. Yeah, what a great place to live. Oh, look at the view.
Sean was raised in Costa Rica, and he settled on the shores of Drake Bay on the Osa Peninsula. Sean's a biologist. He's collecting data on the area's dolphins and studying the impact of commercial fishing on marine mammals.
Here are all these marks you can see here. These are just some of the recent places that we've seen whales and dolphins inside what we're proposing for the sanctuary waters.
Like its jungle, the waters near Corcovado are overflowing with life. Today, spinner dolphins are the first to turn up. Drake Bay is a unique marine feeding zone. The upper layers of the water are warm, and several rivers empty right into the bay, bringing plenty of food. The spinner dolphins are one of many species of mammals Sean has documented along the coast.
Oh, wow. They're right here. Oh, hello. I want to touch.
It seems as some of them are actually jockeying for position with us. Here comes the group, right over to us.
I've always had an interest in dolphins and whales since I can remember, since being very young. Basically from then on, I've learned everything I could about them and tried to spend as much time as I could with them in the wild. They're amazing to be around. I think that there's a lot that the dolphins can teach humans. They teach us about kind of a sheer exuberance and enjoyment of life.
Fantastic!
I got you swimming with him, Sean.
The whole big group of 50 came right in with me. We were swimming right together under the surface, and we all came up and were breeding together. The helicopters from the big factory ships look for spinning dolphins or jumping spotted dolphins, and that's how they find the tuna below. Then they'll send out 10 or 12 chase boats from the big factory ship to corral and herd the dolphins into a big area, thereby corralling the tuna underneath. Then they'll drop hundreds of meters of net that goes down several hundred feet around all the dolphins, thereby catching the tuna beneath. And that's a procedure that in the past probably hundreds of thousands of dolphins have died.
In the jungle, there's no time for play. The tapir team is hard at work. They want to capture a young male and need to build a platform in a tree. But tapirs are nervous and flighty. Catching one is as much up to luck as planning.
It's heavy. In the last few evenings, we've been coming out here to get readings of the tapirs that we have radio collared, and we've noticed that they're all concentrating around this area. And that concentration seems to just go along with the fact that these guasimo trees are fruiting and they're dropping these little black fruits. They don't look like much, but the tapirs seem to love them. Maybe because they're really smelly. They smell like ripe bananas or vanilla. And so we're going to take advantage of that. We began to throw out more of our fruits a few days ago, and the tapirs have been coming and eating that bait, and now we're ready to build a platform for a capture.
So Charles, what's the idea? You use a cantilever with those ropes and like a triangle arrangement on the base of that tree?
Yeah, exactly.
That'll go up against the butt of the tree, and then those blue ropes come down, hold that up, and just build your platform in the middle.
Yep.
But you get to test it first because you're the smallest.
My butt's the one that has to fit on there.
Yeah.
The trap is being set for a 1-year-old juvenile called Dado, the son of Big Mama, the missing pregnant tapir. Dado has not been collared. Charles and Sonia know if they don't capture him tonight, he could leave the area and they'll have a hard job finding him next year. The plan is to hide up in the tree and lure Dado in with bananas. A tranquilizer gun will do the rest.
We do our captures at night. The animals are mostly nocturnal. And when we build the platform, we try and choose a semi-open area that we'll have a decent shot for a dart.
What's it look like for a clear shot up there?
Yeah, I think it's going to work. Got a pretty wide range to shoot. Here to there.
What's the comfort factor like?
Not good.
We hope they come early.
You talk to your designer about that.
Good for a couple of hours. And then it self-destructs.
On the way back to camp, Jorge, a part-time tapir tracker and full-time jungle guide, offers Andrew a glimpse of the shy, white-lipped peccary. They travel in large groups for safety and post sentries when they stop. Peccaries are the natural prey of jaguars and pumas and signal warnings to each other with an unusual clacking sound. Unlike domestic pigs, these animals can be extremely aggressive and often charge when confronted by humans. They're called the spirits of the forest. Suddenly they appear, and then they're gone. It's time to spring the trap. The group splits up. Charles and Sonia go ahead to the tree platform. The others wait upwind on the trail, and it's uncomfortable. No mosquito repellent can be used. The tapirs can smell it. This is a waiting game in a jungle which sweats and bites.
So, mosquitoes?
Como siempre, they're always around.
In the shadows, there's movement.
I think I hear one over there.
Put your light on him.
The scent of bananas has proved irresistible to Dado.
As interesting as tapirs are, there's very little known about them. If you think about the fact that they're herbivores, most herbivores travel in herds, whereas tapirs are nocturnal and they're solitary. I mean, that in and of itself is extremely interesting.
Darting tapirs can only be a one-shot job. If Sonia misses, Dato will bolt back into the jungle and may never return.
Mark, we've got the animal down. Come on in quietly, bring the rest of the team.
Okay, Charlie, I'll let everybody know and we'll get the stuff together and head on in.
Dato is not completely sedated. He will recover in 30 minutes. The team will have to work fast.
The animals are very sensitive to sound when they go down. They also are sensitive to any kind of stimulus like being pushed or manipulated. And so we always have to be very quiet around them and minimize how much we do to them.
Dato is a 13-month-old male. He's actually the son of Big Mama. January of last year, she had to kick Dato out, so he's fending on his own. It's big enough to where he could support a collar. So now we'll be able to follow his movements over the next several years, as long as he survives. And this is a very important aspect of the project now, as far as how the population behaves, as far as reproduction, and how the juveniles behave when they grow up and disperse, and what happens with them.
Aging tapirs is a difficult process. Teeth impressions provide valuable data. The blood, skin, and feces samples taken from Dato must be stored and analyzed immediately while they are still fresh.
All the information that we've learned about tapirs in the last 5 years is somewhat new because most of the information that was written had not really been corroborated.
Each tapir is eating an average of a little more than 35 kilos per night. So when you figure a population of 300 or 400 in the whole park, they're eating like over 2 million metric tons per year. So they have a tremendous effect on the structure and diversity of the forest.
It's thought the Corcovado jungle might become too small for its tapir population, and the juveniles will be forced to roam further afield outside of park protection. Charles and Sonia's objective is to plot the exact movements of all the tapirs. Their data will help decide whether some animals will have to be relocated or perhaps the park's boundaries will need to be extended. Protection of wildlife is the key to ecotourism. In the waters off Corcovado National Park, Sean Larkin is having success in his mission to show the Quest cameras what he believes should be preserved.
Having the opportunity to enjoy this fantastic marine life so close to the coast makes you realize just how special this area is, and you just want to be able to share it with everybody.
There was a very shy sea snake.
Yeah.
When we dived down after him, he just disappeared.
Disappeared into the sea.
Yes. Well, little friend, I think I'm going to have to leave you.
The biggest threat to the peninsula's dolphins and whales is fishing. Shrimp trawlers waste a great deal of unwanted catch, which is staple food for marine mammals.
Here I've just quickly picked out a little bit of an assortment of the different species that are not being sold from the catch right here. So those are some of the things that live on the bottom that might be eaten by dolphins as well as a whole host of other animals that live in the area. And they're all being wasted here, just thrown back dead.
It's a new day in the jungle. Andrew has called in the Quest helicopter to help Charles find Dato's mother, Big Mama.
Stuff up there.
He wants to know if she's had her baby and if mother and child are in good health.
The problem is if she got up into one of these river systems or the small creeks, a lot of those canyons, the signal coming off of her collar really gets just swallowed up in there and I can't get it.
Has Big Mama been missing for?
Just a little over a month now. She should be having a baby pretty quick if she's not already had it, so that's what I'm thinking. She may have changed her home range just for that purpose. But she doesn't need to go very far to get out of my range on the ground.
Makes a big difference being able to get up in the air.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm definitely getting something down there. You want to take it down just a little bit more. She's pretty close around in here. She's actually fairly close to the river, it seems. We should be able to get canoes up there pretty easy.
Well, why don't we land right there on that little beach and try our... Get over here to the left, Andrew. About 100 meters in?
Just about. A little bit to the left up there, if we can get up in there. I got bananas. You got everything you need?
Yep.
We should be probably within 50 meters. Whoa. Right behind her. Oh, I saw like a near. You see anything? Big Mama. Take a step.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Can you see?
I think I see testicles.
Here. Yeah, there it is.
I think it's a boy. Ah!
There you go, Big Mama.
Another boy.
That's 4 in a row.
Tapir mothers seem to be the perfect mother. They are extremely alert and aware, and they have nothing in mind but to protect their young. Oh, that's a good
Big Mama will care for her young for 1 year before turning it out to fend for itself. And then she'll have another baby. It's likely she's already pregnant.
Tapir offspring have stripes and spots because as the light comes through the canopy, it becomes dapple light, and the offspring blend perfectly into that.
Charles and Sonia are two of those unbelievably dedicated people. You've really got to take your hat off to them, that they have the perseverance to stick with this single animal and follow it and learn as much about it as they can, and also, hopefully, protect this environment so that they can continue to exist.
Sonia and Charles are coming to the end of this year's research. Soon they'll return to New York and prepare for next season. And with Big Mama and Baby doing well, Andrew can return to the quest. For Sean Larkin, today could be the beginning of something big. He and the Quest have invited Stanley Mora, the director of Corcovado National Park, to join them and see close up the marine life surrounding his reserve. Sean knows that if the director is on his side, he might help lobby the Costa Rican government to create a marine sanctuary. The importance of the moment is clear to Sean and Torva. They must find marine mammals, and lots of them, to show Stanley Mora.
Here they come.
Coming up behind us, Sean.
Yep. Look at their rooster tails from their fins, huh?
Lady Luck is on their side. Within minutes, the spinners have raced over to play.
Have you seen this many dolphins before, Stanley? No. Enjoying it?
It's the first time.
It's the first time.
Sexo fijo, se hacen el sexo con muchos del grupo.
Could you translate, please, Sean?
He was asking if they mate for life, and I was saying in most dolphin species, although the spinner isn't understood so well, that they tend to have sex with a lot of members of the group, and it's very mixed up, actually, the sexual relations of a group.
Stanley, would you like to try and swim with them?
Yes.
See?
Yes, go.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Okay, let's go.
Okay, Stanley, vámonos.
Excellent. Ah, do you see the dolphins?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Things could not get better. A sailfish glides by and the dolphins dive into a feeding frenzy, chasing bait fish and shredding millions of scales in the water, which twinkle like stars in the night.
The biggest errors that they've realized here in Costa Rica is that they have not conserved the areas of the ocean enough, and they've concentrated more on the land.
Nosotros estamos diseñando un sistema, un mecanismo.
Stanley Mora is impressed. He says what he can do is unite people who would have a say in a marine park. There are fishermen, tourist operators, and government officials. Talks could be held with the local people, and if everyone agrees on protection, the foundations for a marine sanctuary will be laid.
And how does all this sound to you, Sean?
It sounds excellent. It makes my heart beat fast, and it makes me feel fantastic to know that so much has happened so quickly since the Quest has arrived to really spark interest in this area, and I think we're well on the way to establishing a new protected area here in Costa Rica.
La historia de un marino, la que voy a relatar.
It's been a busy few days, and the Quest crew is reunited for a well-earned rest. Tall tales will be told well into the night.
About 200? Really?
Y el recuerdo a su pesar. Tenía dos amigos, la guitarra y el mar.
The big day arrives, Crocodile Day, and the Quest team prepare to return to Crocodile Country with a man who has made the ancient creatures his life's work. Gerardo Abadia from the National University of Costa Rica has been studying crocs for 20 years. His task now is to determine the species and population dynamics of the reptiles in Corcovado's rivers.
I really like crocodiles, not only by the fact that they're so powerful, They're pretty novel animals. I like the way they swim. I like the mystery that's behind this animal. I really find that this is a very fascinating creature.
Gerardo's goal is to develop environmental education programs so that Costa Ricans and crocs can safely live together. The team knows just the place to take him, the river where they found that big crocodile.
What?
Gerardo is keen to get up close and personal with as many crocodiles as possible. He usually works in the north of Costa Rica and has never had the chance to study the remote wilds of Corcovado. He suspects these waters are home to the American crocodile species. Nighttime is the best crocodile time. Torva and Lynn use silent canoes to sneak up on the wary creatures. The croc's eyes reflect the spotlight. Then the motorboat crew takes up the hunt.
Yeah, that's what's interesting about the night spotlighting. You get a better view of the entire population, especially of the small-sized crocodiles. Those you very seldom see during the day.
Ah! He's too quick for you.
Crocodiles have a lot of signals, and once you get to know them well, you can easily tell if a crocodile is hungry, if a crocodile is aggressive.
Got him. Good, great. Nice little one. Sharp teeth.
Very sharp teeth. This is probably a 1-year-old hatchling.
So this little fellow would be hunting tonight and what, getting
It's basically feeding on aquatic insects, crabs, snails, small fish.
Frogs?
Frogs as well.
Very opportunistic, probably go for just about anything you could keep a hold of.
Really happy to see hatchlings in this river.
So you don't see the young ones in the same places as the adults?
No, big crocodiles are further upstream.
So the adult crocodiles would actually eat these hatchlings?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, old cannibalism's pretty effective.
Oh, it sure does.
Beautiful. Oh, beauty. Well, we'll see if we can find some of the bigger ones upstream.
Yeah, if we're lucky. Well, depending on the size of the crocodile, we'll decide whether we use hand capturing, or we use the net, or we use the noose.
Crocodile behavior is unpredictable. When threatened, they can attack or just slip away. People have been ripped apart by animals that gave all the signs of being docile.
Get it!
That was close, he snapped back. The noose had come right down to his body.
Yeah, I know, I had it by its tail, but just turning around, it could have bitten me.
When he came, I thought you had his head, like with the noose, and then you had the tail, and then his face, his jaws were right looking at you, at your head height. I thought, uh-oh.
Crocodiles are most active in the dark. It's when they feed, and maybe tonight, man is on the menu.
Please underwater, somebody. Get hold of the tail, please. Somebody get hold of the tail. One chain behind. Get hold of the tail, please.
This is a medium-sized catch, but there's something unusual about this one. Gerardo is excited.
Okay, now let's get him on board. It is not a crocodile, it is a caiman. And this is very, very interesting because crocodiles and caimans are not always in the same river. Okay, now we do need the tape now.
You're gonna have to kick the boat out of gear, it's still in gear.
Okay, just...
I got it.
The caiman's leap to freedom is a disappointment. Gerardo had not examined it. There's only one thing to do, try to catch it again.
It's strong.
On the trail of the fugitive caiman, it could be anywhere. But a lucky break, the team spy it by the riverbank. They must hang on to it this time. Gerardo needs to examine it.
He's a good wrestler, huh?
Okay, you got hold of his neck. Now what are we gonna do?
Okay, straight into the boat, straight up towards the camera.
Boy, these are strong animals.
You can see this is an old animal. It's already a fully mature animal. See, both teeth have already broken to the bone of the upper jaw. I would guess it is a male, but we can check its sex.
You can do that.
It's a nasty job, but Gerardo's an old hand.
You stick the finger in, and you try to feel if there is a hemipenis or if there is not. Now it is a male.
Is it unusual to find caimans and crocodiles together?
Yeah, they're not sympatric species, which means they don't normally inhabit the same river.
Now, a little backward.
Because crocodiles are natural predators of caimans, so...
So for a caiman to get to this size, he's had to be very quick, get past the crocodiles.
Not only quick, it's got to be very lucky.
1, 2, 3.
For a fully mature caiman to survive in this river, Gerardo suspects that there are few adult crocodiles. Is this as nature intended?
Beautiful animal, isn't it? Look at him. Okay, he's gone.
Someone...
Oh, that's so strong. Well done. That was good.
Strong, huh?
The quest team is taking with them more questions than answers. But with proof that there are two types of competing reptiles living in the rivers, Gerardo Abadia believes there is reason enough to question the impact of poachers on the dominant crocodiles. He plans to return to Corcovado and complete a full crocodile and caiman population count. It's time for the quest to leave the wilds of Costa Rica. They've seen the jungle breathe new life.
Yeah, when we see babies for the first time, well, no, we're not scientists anymore.
We turn into big mushy parents. Oh!
They've dived in harmony with dolphins. They've hitched a ride with the king of the river.
I don't get to go into the jungle that often, and we got to see a whole bunch of really amazing things.
As the quest steams away, all on board can only wonder what new adventure the horizon brings.